Hello, shrimp and fish people. I had a few requests where people wanted to see my shrimp tank setup, or complete setup. So I will show you a few tanks this time, as I'm in the process of remodeling all basically the whole fish room or shrimp room. So yeah, so I'll just go through 4 of these that you see in the screen. So let's start with the bottom one here. This is just a wire rack, just a small one. I got it from Uline, just a storage shelf on the bottom. So this one here is a golden bee shrimp tank. Right now I have a few different types of shrimps in there. Actually, I got the low-grade crystal red shrimps, which I removed from another tank because they weren't doing really well and they were in high pH. The reason why they were in high pH is because they are from Michael Nadal from Germany. He's a breeder, a very known breeder in Germany, and he bred them in high pH. That's why I had them in high pH. But the main reason wasn't the high pH that they were dying. They were dying because other issues, and mainly I believe because I had the half bare bottom tank, and I think I just believe the water quality wasn't good because of that half bare bottom, because you have to clean it every day, seems like. Alright, sorry, I kind of wandered off with the camera. So let's see this tank here. So we got the golden bees, snow whites, bloody marys, and low-grade crystal red shrimps. You can see some bloody marys in this shot here. There's a nice one. I'll zoom it in. Focus. Alright, so it wasn't focusing because my macro mode was off, so let's try that again. And still having trouble. I may be off. But anyways, there you go. That's a bloody mary, right? Right, where is it? Right there. That's the one. Yeah. So what do I have here? Breeding tubes. I got the heater which detached from the thing, from the glass. That thing in the back there, that's the Benibachi plate A or something like that. It's supposed to keep the nitrates down and absorb toxic stuff. Cholla wood, lava rock. This here is Malaysian driftwood. Got some Bucephalanthrus attached to it. In the back there you can see I have the oxidator. I do keep him in every tank. Also some of these balls here, not sure if they do much, but just mineral balls. They also absorb toxic stuff, so for filtration I use a separate, like a sponge filter. And in the back there you see Eheim, what do you call it, the outflow pipe. So yeah, so it's running a canister 2211. These shrimps were doing really well in the past. Right now they're not doing much. I think I might have overfed them for a while there, so they were starting to die out. Right now they're doing fine. That's a molt in the back. So less is more in this case. So I don't really feed them anymore. I just give them supplements right now, and they seem to be happier. Oh, these supposed to be some mineral balls as well. Got them off of eBay. I don't know if they do anything. Ram's horn snails, pretty much my favorite snail, and I have them in all the tanks. I find that they don't do too well in soft water, and because of that the population doesn't explode, but you still have quite a few, as you can see. Yeah, almond leaves, and also alder cones, which you can see in the back there. There's some alder cones right there in between the two of them. So yeah, so we got golden bee shrimp, low crystal red shrimp, and Bloody Mary shrimp in this tank. Hopefully they get separated someday. Okay, on to the next one. This one is a pure red line tank, and the blue ones are the dream blue shrimps. There it is. Focus. Beautiful shrimp. What do I have in this tank? Pretty much the same thing. I got some Jola wood, Eheim's filter, sponge filter, flame moss. This is, it says right there, peacock moss, and a whole bunch of bouquet phalandras, different kinds. I keep these tags here so that I know what they are. Pink lady. They all seem very similar, so it's really hard to keep track of what they are. And these shrimps are doing really good. They had a few batches of babies, and then they stopped breeding for a while, and it could be the same reason that I overfed them. Remember, less is more in this case. But right now there's babies all over the place. So they're not even babies, they're like, I call them teenagers right now. And 6 or 7 buried females. Here's one. Back to this and see if I can focus any better now. As I said, usually I don't have problems focusing. It's a little better, I'd say. That's a buried female right there. You can see the black area. These are a little harder to see because of the shell, but the way the light is, it's pretty strong, so it's kind of from the bottom, so the light seems to be in the back, and you can actually see better. Pretty much any bigger shrimp here that is a female obviously is buried, like that one right there. Alright, so that's my pure red line shrimp tank, and yeah, it's just a lot of moss in there. You can't even see anything in there. Almond leaves, it's just a normal stuff in there. Almond leaves, alder cones. The substrate for both of these that I just showed you is ADA Aqua Soil Amazonia. It's just a regular one and topped up with the powder on top. And it's an excellent substrate. Ram's horns inside. The blue dreams, they're not doing, I mean, they're doing good, but they're not breeding. They had a batch of eggs, buried females, and then the eggs just disappeared. So I guess they weren't happy. Alright, on to the next one. The next one, we'll go down to this one. And this here is the crystal white bee shrimp and Bloody Mary shrimp. Now I have two straight different lines of Bloody Marys. This one's a little darker, and they both breed true, which is nice. And you can see here there's a lot of Bloody Marys are doing really well in this tank. the snow white bees, they not snow white, sorry, the crystal white bees, they were doing really good, and then they started dying and stopped breeding. And I think, I'm not even sure if I have any females left, but there's babies here and there, you can see. Sorry for the glare. Yeah, and for the substrate here I'm using Fluoral Stratum. That's another substrate I trust. A lot of people are saying that it turns into mush after a year, but so far I have not had that issue. And I'll show you some Fluoral Stratum after 3 years in another tank here. So yeah, so this tank, classic stuff, cholla wood, there's breeding tubes under that moss. That's mini Christmas moss, whole bunch of bouquet phalandras, Java moss. I got this one with some shrimps that I bought, and I just tied it to a stainless steel mesh, and it's growing nicely now. This is HM Hamburger Matten cube filter, I believe it's called. It's doing the job, I guess. We just have another. I don't know why so much glare. That's a sponge filter in the back. It's just as a backup. And so no Eheim filter in this one, no canister filter, I should say. Yeah, so right now I stopped overfeeding him and everything's better. Less is more. There in the back, that's Subwasser thing. It's kind of growing, not too much. Bouquet Phalandra mini Catenay. It's doing really nice. Yeah, as I said, this is Fluoral Stratum. This is what happens with snails in soft water. They die after a while. Some survive. Keeps the population in check. Okay, so crystal white bee and Bloody Mary shrimp. On to the next one. This here, as you can see, is a 20-gallon divided tank. And this is the tank where I tried the bare bottom. Let's start with this one here. It was bare bottom, so in the back there I had Substrate, and this is Fluoral Stratum 3 years later, non-buffering, so it's just Substrate. I had this front part here bare, has bare bottom, and a lot of poop would collect here, and basically I think it would just cause a lot of nitrates to develop, and even though I measured, it wasn't really bad, but something wasn't right, and so they were dying. As I was saying, bare bottom for me did not work out. I had nothing but trouble with the shrimps. Now I added Substrate in the front, and that seems to be solving all the issues, really. So Fluoral Stratum 3 years later, thoroughly washed with a garden hose outside, never turned to mush. So I'm not saying I don't believe people when they say it turns to mush. Maybe there was a bad batch that they had, but I never had an issue. So I like it. It works. So again, cholla wood, bouquet phalandras on lava rock. The more bouquet phalandra. That one's Benibachi alpha plate or IA plate. It just absorbs toxins. This is one of my favorite shrimps. That's why I kind of take care of them. High pH, and this tank is high pH. Basically tiger shrimp parameters. and I had to buy some more from Scotch Shrimps in Calgary. It's an excellent place to get shrimps and supplies, and yeah, he's got some fish now, and yeah, it's just really great guy to deal with, so check it out. Scotch Shrimps. This one's got a, it looks like a sponge filter. It's a dual sponge filter attached to a hang-on back filter, Aqua Clear, I believe, 50. So far it's been doing good. Yeah, so low-grade crystal red shrimps from Michael Nadal. Okay, on to the next one. Here, the same story with the bare bottom. Trouble, and then everything's working fine once I redid the setup. We got snowballs here, snowball shrimps. And I had so much trouble keeping these shrimps alive in the past. They would breed non-stop, but then they would develop like a bacterial infection, then they would start dying. I apologize for my voice. I have a sore throat and so I'm dealing with some cold issues right now. But so once I separated, once I added the substrate here and redid this side, now the snowballs are really happy, and they've been for the last month. I see a lot of saddled ones. Come on, focus. Maybe there's another one. They're just all over the place. I should throw in some food so that they gather in one area. They love the sponge filter. Same setup here, sponge filter on a Aqua Clear 50. It's been a month. I haven't cleaned the sponges yet, so I think they don't even look dirty, so it's kind of neat. Oh, another shrimp in here is is the you can see it right there. It's the tiger shrimp, just a regular tiger shrimp, but I love the way they look. One batch I got was really nice. I don't see it right now, but it had like cream color, something similar to this one here. See if it focuses. See that creamy on the back stripes? Very nice. And these are just regular ones. This is not a super tiger or anything. As I said, every tank has an oxidator, just for added protection, and you know, I mean, this tank has a lot of bubbles, as if you can see, like from the filter itself. But I just give him that extra. Yeah. And this substrate is the same as in the other half. It's fluval stratum, 3-year-old fluval stratum, and no problems. But you gotta remember, it doesn't buffer anymore. It's just, you know, inert basically. This ball here is the moss ball, Marima ball. Breeding tubes, that's Physidens moss right there. And bouquet philandras, that's what I have in this tank. There's no plants in the substrate. Pretty much all my shrimp setups have no plants that are planted in the substrate, other than the bouquet philandras, you know, sending some roots down, but that's about it. I do have some floating plants. I just added those ones there. That's just, you know, to absorb some nitrates, that's all. So yeah, so that's the divided one. If you have any questions, comments, whatever, just, you know, drop me a line, and
I will, as I said, I'm in the process of remodeling this whole thing. I bought a shelf already, so there's gonna be 3 new 20 long gallon aquariums, which hopefully I'm gonna add these low grades in it. Oh, I forgot to mention that the very first tank that I have, like these guys, those guys, and
The very first tank I showed you, these guys here, they are basically from the same place, from Michael Nadal. These guys I converted back to soft water because I thought maybe that's what they were dying, because I just couldn't get the parameters right. So there's about, I'd say about 15 of them in this tank, and they are actually living in soft water now. I shouldn't say soft water. The other one is pretty soft too, low pH. So this one's about 6.2 pH, and the other one is about 7.2 to 7.5, around there. So that's the difference. Same source shrimp, but different. I just want to see what's gonna work better. So yeah, a beautiful shrimp, as you can see. Alright, so much from me. Any questions, comments, please drop me a line, and if you haven't done that yet, subscribe, and I'll see you next time.